his research on the Cody Cole situation. Now, Cody Cole have done a brilliant job at sort of like hiding or suppressing the information regarding him and Tana. Now, Tana, the story goes apparently like Tana met Cody Cole, or they already like knew each other, but they met up at a particular party. Tana was a willing participant. She wanted, she wanted Cody because apparently she was a fan. Gabby warned Cody, "Hey, bro, Tana is 17. Don't do it." Tana apparently was persistent. He was also persistent. They had intercourse, and 9 years later, Tana is, now going on a I'm a victim spree. Now, I'm gonna say this, man. At 17, yeah, at 17, I think it's a bad look. I think it's nasty behavior that Cody Cole would engage with a 17-year-old, especially like after being told moments before, yo, she's 17, but still going through with it. I think it's nasty work. But yeah, right. But though, I also do think though, like Tana going on this whole I'm a victim spree, I think is also nasty work, right? Tana is looking for some attention, but Cody Cole to me is nasty and needs to be, and needs to get gone, all right? Get up out of here, my boy. Use a nasty boy. Use a freak.
All right, Cody, let's have an uncomfortable conversation. Someone has been alleging for years now that you, one of the largest commentary creators on YouTube, knowingly committed a crime against her when she was a minor. But YouTubers and viewers alike are ignoring and discrediting these allegations solely because the person making them happens to be an unlikable woman online, Tana Mongeau. And you know that people are ignoring this because nobody is working harder to bury the story than you. And you're getting away with it because commentary YouTube has a serious problem. I can't blame any of your viewers or my viewers for not hearing about this because you've done such a good job hiding it up until now that I only found out about it recently. The situation has been talked about by smaller channels, it's been discussed at length on other platforms, and it keeps almost hitting the mainstream, like with this Rolling Stone article or this H3 podcast discussion. But the reason it hasn't caught on yet, despite all of this, is that none of your friends, nobody on your level, nobody in the commentary niche with enough pull is willing to admit that this situation makes you look terrible.
A lot of people like him a lot, and they really are like doing any kind of mental gymnastic to just ignore it.
I'm not here to accuse you of...
Yeah, and that's one of like the tough parts as well, right? It's because Cody is a likable person. He's somebody who has always done things the right way. Hasn't really been overly clout chasey his entire career. While Tana has essentially been the opposite her entire career, has been like a clout chaser, an attention-starving freak, dishonest, liar, right? So Tana has essentially gone on the opposite arc of what Cody has gone on, but then Tana has decided now 9 years later, right, while consensually engaging in whatever they engaged in, which to me, again, is still nasty on the part of Cody Cole, is nasty. And again, like I do think though that Cody Cole does deserve to get exposed. It just sucks that it has to be Tana doing it because it's like it automatically gets met with suspicion and bad intentions, right? Automatically, right? Because nobody thinks that Tana is doing this at all. Nobody thinks that Tana is doing this because Tana believes that she's a victim and she was manipulated, right? And she was coerced and it's traumatizing. We all believe that Tana is doing this for attention. Which is the part that sucks. Because Cody Cole deserves to get exposed. Like, he deserves to get outed, right? He deserves to get canceled. But he should be canceled by a real victim who truly believes they're a victim. Not an attention-seeking twat.
Of committing a crime in this video because I can't do that based on someone else's allegations. Nobody can definitively take these allegations as proof, but at the same time, they should still be looked at and not treated as an open secret and swept under the rug like you've been doing for so many years now. And from the way the situation keeps popping up more and more often, it's clear that there's only so much rug sweeping you can do before people start taking a closer look at things. So let's take a closer look. We both know that Tana Mongeau is a YouTube personality with a history of lies, controversy, and genuinely problematic behavior that's become so entangled with her brand that her podcast is called Cancelled with Tana Mongeau. And speaking of this podcast, about a month ago, she hosted a live episode in front of an audience, and the conversation turned to you.
Who's the smallest you've ever had sex with?
Oh my God, no one look at me, Cody Cole. I can say that. I was literally
This clip started making the rounds and people were understandably perturbed because if Tana Mojo was 17, you would have been 25. So people started speculating and Tana decided to set the record straight.
I hooked up with Cody when I was 17 and he was 25.
She claims that not only were you fully aware of her age at the time, but someone even tried to stop you and you went ahead anyway.
There was a situation with Gabby Hanna at a Playlist Live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up.
To be clear, 17 is under the age of consent in many states, including Florida, where Playlist Live used to take place. So this means that Tana Mojo is accusing you of statutory rape, and she's not trying to hide that.
This isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime.
Nothing would make this situation.
But you knew it was a crime 9 years ago. Again, this doesn't take away from what that freak and weirdo Cody Ko did, right? But Tana popping up 9 years later, like trying to play this victim card as if she's like effectively traumatized because of this, bruh, is almost insane, bruh. Like I almost wish like we could separate Tana Mojo from this, right? We could just have a generic victim and Cody Ko, right? Because if there was just a generic victim not named Tana Mojo, we will be on his we will be giving him the business. We'll be carrying our freaking pitchforks ready to cancel Cody Ko. But you are a chick who at 17 chases men all around the city, begging him to have intercourse with you. All right, he finally gives in to whatever temptation and demons he's facing. All right, which is weird. He finally gives in. And now 9 years later, when you fall off, you're now telling people, oh, he committed a crime. Now he's going, he has sex with me after I begged him to have sex with me. Huh? Like, you're not even saying he forced you to do it. You begged him, you chased him around, you begged him to have intercourse with you. He had intercourse with you against his best judgment, which again, he's a weirdo, probably a pedophile, right? He's probably a pedophile. But you ain't no better, Tana.
Better, but plenty of things make it worse, like the fact that she was a fan of yours at the time, adding an additional layer to the power dynamic you would have had over her.
I grew up loving him, and I think you know what I mean? Like, I was just like excited and a fan.
Tana seems to have many feelings about this, which we'll go over a bit later, but she stated very clearly that the actions she's accusing you of are inexcusable.
If I had a 17-year-old daughter or a little sister or something, like, I would kill. I would never let it fly.
These recent allegations are bad enough on their own, but there are a couple of things that make them worse still. Things that many people don't know yet, but you do. You know that Tana has been making this same specific claim against you for years now. Here she is back in 2021 saying the same thing.
I was 17 at the time, 18. I started kind of hooking up with other people. Shout out JC Kalen, shout out Cody Ko.
But what lends the most credibility to Tana's claims, and what is really the most damning thing for you, Cody, is a clip that you might not have even seen yet. See, I read the Rolling Stone article, I watched the YouTube videos about this, and they all missed something. And I understand why. The clip I'm about to show you is extremely hard to find. The original has been lost to time, and it's a wonder we have this on video at all. But if there was anything to give me any more clarity about these allegations before I formed my opinion, I was going to find it. Remember how Tana said that fellow YouTuber Gabby Hanna tried to stop you before everything allegedly went down? Well, did you know that Gabby is actually on record telling the exact same story several years ago?
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage, watch it. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then he turned that.
This is really, really bad. People make accusations all the time, specific.
Listen, yo. This kind of shows how nasty of a weirdo Cody was. Watch this.
Story several years ago.
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage, watch it. And he was like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then he heard that.
This is
Yo, you a nasty one, Cody. You a nasty one, Cody. But Tana ain't no better.
really, really bad. People make accusations all the time, specifically regarding things that are very difficult to prove or disprove, unfortunate as that may be. But when somebody makes an allegation and they say they have a witness, and that witness can be found telling the exact same story years before any of this came out, that's not something I can just ignore. In a situation that cannot be proven, corroboration by a third party goes a long way. And frankly, Cody, the allegations against you seem to have been corroborated. But instead of researching to find these answers like I did, many of your fans seem far more interested in attacking your accuser.
I have seen so many comments, but what was she wearing? It's Tana, so who cares? Well, it's Tana Mojo.
The reaction to this has been unsurprising but incredibly disappointing, demanding proof that they know she can't provide, acting like she's only doing this to gain clout or ruin you somehow, despite the fact that she's never once put your name in a video title over this. Or worst of all, implying that a 17-year-old could have truly consented to any of this. But let's be clear about one thing. That is not the case. No amount of retroactive age calculations or what-if scenarios change the fact that what Tana described would be, objectively speaking, a crime. A crime which you've said absolutely nothing about. And even if this wasn't illegal, you remember being 25. You would have known then, as I currently know at age 25, that nobody this age should need an explanation for why a 17-year-old is off limits. Because you remember being 17 too. Now, thankfully, Tana's personal experience with this isn't one of trauma. In fact, I've seen people defending you by saying, Tana said she doesn't care, so why should any of us care? But that's not exactly what she was saying.
I don't associate or hold it with trauma because I am such a comparative person where I'm like, so many worse things have happened to me.
And even if something isn't consciously internalized as an identifiable source of trauma, the body keeps the score.
I know things manifest in ways other than me directly feeling them. Like maybe I don't feel traumatized in certain aspects from certain things, and other things I do. But, you know, maybe they just manifest in ways other than directly feeling.
The answer to why any of us should care is that a person has tried to come forward about her experience and has been met with the most vitriolic victim blaming I've seen in years. She's been dismissed, discredited, and disbelieved before anybody ever gave her a chance.
It's not really like vitriolic, like for example, right? If she would have came out and said, yo, he forcefully took it, a lot of us would have said, bruh, Cody, you gotta go. Tana, we believe you. This man is a horrible man. But if you are self-admittedly had a crush on this man, chased him all around town, begging him to smash you, he finally gives in to his temptations and he smashed you. Now, we can call him nasty. Flacco can say, this man don't deserve to have a platform. Use a nasty mug. Get up out of here, buddy. But you, being the person who chased him all around town, begging him to smash you, you coming 9 years later and trying to call this man the devil and a demon because you're looking for attention 9 years later, to me is crazy, right? Now, we, the general public, all right, who thinks 25-year-old men having intercourse with 17-year-old women is nasty and it's unhinged and deserves to be met with, with ridicule, we can say that. But you, I don't think you, yeah, right, yeah, bro. I don't think that you have a ground to stand on.
Because it's Tana, which sets a horrible precedent that if a person runs out of goodwill, they lose the right to come forward with their experiences.
The most traumatizing thing of all of this really was seeing how many people don't believe people or don't believe me. I feel so bad for all of these young girls because then they see that and then it makes them not want to come forward.
And you, Cody, are part of
come forward about what exactly?
The reason she's been
You begged him. Oh my God.
Met with this reaction. Your status as one of YouTube's golden boys has made it possible for you to ignore a situation that almost anyone else would have had to respond to by now.
I know for a fact if you swapped out Cody Co with someone that people didn't like that much,
I would
be receiving so much more sympathy.
I find your silence
Yo, you see, bruh? Yo, oh my, oh. This tells you everything you need to know about this, bruh. She's looking for sympathy and attention. She's looking for sympathy and attention. This should tell you everything you need to know, bruh. She's looking for this. Yeah, which is why she even is speaking on this night. She's looking for sympathy and attention. She's looking for yo, bro. This is sick stuff. Yo, Tanner, this is some sick stuff, yo.
That much,
oh my
I
God.
would be receiving so much more sympathy.
I find your silence on the situation to be uncomfortable because I know that if Tana's allegations are true, then silence would be your only option, since telling the truth would be tantamount to confessing to a crime, and lying would put you at risk of being contradicted by a witness. And like I told you at the beginning, I'm not accusing you of committing a crime, but even if what Tana says is false, your silence is still grossly incompetent at best. Why are you choosing the path that would be your only option if you were guilty? Now, some seem to think that you're not obligated to speak up, and maybe that's what people around you are telling you as well. But from one creator to another, you absolutely have an obligation to, at the very least, call out the misogyny, the victim blaming, and all manner of cognitive dissonance that's coming from your audience in the name of defending you against allegations that you're too cowardly to address. And to be clear, this is cowardice, because you demonstrate it whenever there's controversy afoot. Tana's further claims make it sound like you're terrified.
I said something about it online and it was starting to surface, and he texted me like, are we good? And was like, I said, yeah. And like, he was like, my wedding's coming up.
You do have a history of making bad choices when you're terrified of people finding things out, like your history of using slurs.
5, nigga, 6, nigga, 7, nigga, 8, nigga, 9, nigga.
There's more clips than
Hold up, Cody. I ain't know this about you, my boy. Oh, hold up, Cody. Hold up, Cody. Hold up, Cody. I ain't know this about you, my boy.
have a history of making bad choices when you're terrified of people finding things out, like your history of using slurs.
5, nigga, 6, nigga, 7, nigga, 8, nigga, 9, nigga.
I'm more offended that bro recorded this and posted it online. Because at this point, bro, like, it takes a certain level of arrogance and condescension to record yourself saying that word and posting it online. Now, if it was leaked, it's still bad, right? If you was on a live stream and did it accidentally, it's still bad, but I can somewhat understand. But you recorded that video, 7, 8 nigga, and posted it for people to laugh at it.
There's more clips than that, but the reason most people are blissfully unaware of them is because you posted your vague apology not on Twitter, not on YouTube, but on Patreon, despite acknowledging in your apology that the clips were surfacing on Twitter. This is one of many examples of your poor handling of controversy. Not many people know that you've already lost fans over an eerily similar topic. You used to frequently feature and promote your college friend Colby Leachman in your videos, until it came out that during your school days, Leachman's university put him on probation for, as a United States District Judge would later put it, the non-consensual videotaping of a sex act with another student, showing the video to other people, lying to the police about the video, and behaving horribly to that individual and at least one other woman.
God damn. Yo, the whole squad full of freaking ninjas, man. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo. Yo. These the dudes who shouldn't be outside, man. These the dudes that gotta stay inside, yo. Like, that whole friend group, bro, is freaky. Stay inside, bro. They all gotta stay inside, man. Yo, how do you have a friend group full of, like, is everybody in your friend group freaky? How does that happen? Like, how do you, like, curate a friend group full of nothing but freaky niggas? Like, isn't that kind of like dangerous though? Like, that's like, bro, that's like a deadly squad right there, bro. A friend group full of nothing but freaking ninjas. Oh, we bringing no hoes around y'all, bruh.
To make matters worse, the woman in the video also alleged that Leachman drugged her before the recording and that she hadn't actually consented to anything at all.
Oh
you
my
had
God.
this man in your videos. You were telling us to follow him on Instagram, and at some point you did wise up, so he's no longer part of your content, but he still seems like he's very much a part of your friend group. From the continued hangout since then to inviting him to your wedding just last year, people are under the impression that you're best friends with someone who, at best, committed an illegal sex act and at worst is an alleged rapist. And no matter how many times people rediscover this information over the years, you refuse to say anything at all. You could clarify this, but you won't. But now your cowardice has reached a new low. You've tried speaking and you've tried silence, and now you're choosing censorship. On your YouTube channel, where you've been pumping out content nearly every day now, I couldn't find a single comment on your last video about this situation. Not even one. Comparing that to the comment section on your Instagram, where every single comment I saw was about this, it's clear that you're heavily censoring your audience on YouTube. But surely you must have realized the limits by now, since people have just transferred the conversation over to your wife's channel. The fact that her comment section is overrun due to your decision to stay silent about this should be all the proof you need that that decision was wrong. At this point, your silence and censorship are a response with disturbing implications. The only thing that I've seen this hidden portion of your audience asking for is the truth. So why aren't you telling it? And your silence isn't the only one that's bothering me either.
All these Reddit threads, like if my name's on any thread, it's all getting deleted.
I witnessed the heavy-handed moderation of your subreddit in real time as I researched this video. I would refresh the page and posts would suddenly be unapproved by moderators after racking up hundreds of comments, removed because they could, quote, instigate drama, or more commonly, just locked and or removed with no reason given whatsoever. I'm sure whoever is doing this thinks they're helping you, but you should probably tell them that they're making things look 10 times worse. But it's not just your moderators, it's your friends and fellow YouTubers too. It's no coincidence that with the exception of the H3 podcast, I haven't seen a single channel over 1 million subscribers do so much as acknowledge that this situation exists. And I'm not talking about channels that never would have discussed something like this either. I mean the same channels that were rightfully calling out people like Dr. Disrespect for texting a minor, which are the same channels that are now completely ignoring a scenario with an even bigger creator being accused of doing something much worse. You can't say it's because the allegations are unconfirmed, because the channels that I'm talking about discuss rumors all the time. And this video is all the proof you need that there's still plenty to discuss even without making definitive statements. The general public may not know about the situation, but I promise you, anyone who's online enough to run a YouTube channel does.
The amount of people in this industry who like want to protect him and are like talking to me in a way where it's like they, you know what I mean? Like, or even just friends like, but I love him.
The community's silence on this has been so staggering that people are now saying,
it sucks, yo, like, cause we're presented with the reality of Cody Ko is a POS, Tana Mojo is a POS, right? Now, a lot of people, including the fans, have came to the reality of if you go hard on Cody Ko and make, let's say, videos about him, it's almost impossible to make those videos without including Tana, right? And if you include Tana, well, then you're giving her the much needed attention that she has been desperately craving ever since falling off, right? So it's almost impossible to call him out for being a creep and a weirdo without her being a part of it.
That commentary YouTube is a boys club, aka a male-dominated space that mistreats women while enabling and protecting men. And the truth is, Cody, whether you're guilty or not, you are being enabled to ignore this and protected from having to respond as an act of misogyny towards Tana Mojo. We both know that on our side of commentary YouTube, any man can easily elevate himself by dunking on misogynists in his content and espousing a generally feminist viewpoint. But if that viewpoint turns to silence, the moment a situation is no longer cut and dry, then that viewpoint was a brand strategy, not a belief. The misogyny that we should be discussing is right here in the community, yet the only thing I'm hearing is a bitter, hollow silence, one that you have the power to end. I said it in the beginning, I said it in the middle, and I'll end with this. One person's testimony does not give me the right to accuse you of doing anything illegal, but I can point out the facts. It's a fact that you and Tana were around each other during the years she specified, as seen in your uncomfortable collab videos, which are still online. It's a fact that Gabby Hanna has made claims that seem to corroborate Tana's allegations against you. And it's a fact that you are suppressing your audience's knowledge of these allegations by censoring your YouTube comment section. These things may not prove Tana's allegation, but you better believe that they contextualize them in a way that you need to address. And you still have every right to address this, even now. If you have a side of the story that we're missing, then tell it. If I have my facts wrong, say something. Nobody should ever be denied the right to tell the truth, no matter what. I'm sure we can all agree that everyone should have the right to speak their truth, but that's exactly why I couldn't just sit here and watch the whole world tell Tana that it doesn't apply to her. Regardless of the truth of the situation, I'm just so disappointed either way. That is all. Goodbye, Cody.
That's crazy. Hey, listen, man. Now listen. Now I believe that Cody Code did this nasty ish. I think that's pretty obvious, right? I think that Cody Code deserves to be canceled. I think that he deserves to have his platform snatched away, right? Because we can't be certain that he won't do this again, all right? But Tana Mojo ain't really like the person we really want to like up our pitchforks for. You feel me?